Okay, so we don't get a chance to talk very much from time to time. So I'm going to try to put this on video and at some point get it to you and hope that you get a chance to see it. I have no real idea, how things are going there. Our conversations are sketchy. I get it. I get it. I just, I've spent the past 18 years. I didn't realize it was still running. So, so anyway, back to my lecture, which is kind of what this is, I guess. It's a dialogue that you and I don't really get a chance to have. Sometimes I just catch you on the phone, and if I've got you for 4 or 5 minutes, you've really got to go. You've really got to run. You really got to do something somewhere. Um, I've seen that before. Okay, I went through it with your father to a point, and I'm sure my parents went through it with me, but I probably had the easiest path. So, down to what I really want to talk about. The path you are on here, to me, because we don't talk, we don't share much, seems unsustainable. I think the primary mission right now, unless you can explain to me some other reason why, I think the primary mission right now is to complete this semester. And I've given you, and I'm trying to make this a good semester for you because it's a bullshit semester. You have online classes, which completely detaches you from college in so many ways. The online classes are probably easier ones, but they're still filled with detailed trivia bullcrap stuff that you have to do because they need to justify giving you credit online. All right. You've exhausted the courses that will serve you. Let's face it, you're taking these courses just because you want to cross them off some kind of mysterious list. I'll be the last person to try to talk you out of getting a degree. But when you're done with this semester, if you at least pursue through it and get through it as best you can, I don't know how it'll affect your GPA. That's why you want to keep it going. Um, you will have 108 credits. You need 120, but you also need, because you're a transfer student, they introduced some obscure course that you can take online, but that still adds another course to what you need. So you need, you know, uh, 15 credits to graduate. And be honest with you, um, I don't see how you can possibly do it with the schedule you're in. Now, that's not a shot at you about what you can do or can't do. It's a shot about the practicality. You are working almost full time. You have 2 days in your week that's open. This is the way I understand it anyway. And in that 2 days, you get your socializing in, hypothetically, the work that you have to do for school, and also um, managing your household necessities, laundry, blah, 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 blah. Now, let me just reiterate that that is an extremely formidable task. I don't think I could do it. Okay, at your age, I don't think I could do it. I got to admit, I had a pretty easy roll through school, in that I had part time job, but it was just on weekends. Okay, and I managed to fit it into a social life that I had because I had a girlfriend who was always available for when we wanted to do something, etc., etc. Of course, that's your grandmother. So, with all that said, let's look at the practical side of things just for a brief moment, because you need to begin to contemplate these things. There are a number of issues to consider immediately, not necessarily decide on them, but consider them immediately. First, most foremost, number one, you're taking these courses, you're getting nothing from them. You're doing a minimal amount of assignments from the online work. I'm doing probably close to half of them. And trust me when I say that cannot continue. It can't continue. I can't see. For me to answer 25 questions takes me 75 minutes. Okay? I mean, that's the nature of what I have to do to try to read and see. It's just physically becoming impossible for me. I mean, I could see the TV, but I don't really see their faces. But at least I can, and I can go to a movie and see a whole movie and so on. But I can't read this shit off the computer. It's impossible. And I know you rely on me to push this stuff over to you, but it's becoming very unrealistic, and it's becoming nearly impossible. I'm going to struggle through this as far as I can through this semester because I'm committed to you. I'm committed to you. I'm giving up everything in my terms of my own free time to help you. Okay, you're you're my second son. No matter however what way I spin it, I know I'm not your father, but I think of you as my son. I care for you as my son. I want to help you as much as I can, as I would my son. And to me, in my mind, that makes you my son. Now, I know you don't feel the same way. Yeah, I'm a pain in the ass. When the phone rings, you probably say to yourself, oh, crap. Well, you'll eventually reflect on that in the future, and you'll feel bad about that. But that's your reality right now, and I get it. I've been through it. Okay, all right. I even did it to my own mom uh, as a young parent, not yeah, and as a student too. And in my case, especially talking about my mom, I I went back to school every weekend. I lived on off campus, but I went back to school every weekend. Sorry, at the end of every weekend, and she loaded me down with either a nice pot roast that I could take and share with my roommates, or roast beef, or a lasagna, you name it. I mean, I had a different exposure than you do. You got it tougher than I had it. Now, I know we're approaching the 10-minute mark on this video, so I guess I should get down to brass tacks. I just never get a chance to talk to you, or really communicate with you in a way that's at least somewhat intimate. It was nice while you were here. That was great, but you're just not a phone person. You're just, once you get back down there, You get enveloped in everything, and I understand that. I understand it. So let me cut to the chase on some of the points. First point, I need more from you. I know it's tough, but talk to me. Explain to me what the problems are. But I need more from you. I can't see. I keep saying it over and over again. For me to do some of this stuff is brutal. Okay? And I'm not doing a great job on some of it. So I need more from you. I need you to commit, at least get through this semester with a little bit better time management. Okay? That's right off the top. That's a generalization. That's what I really need from you in at least a timely fashion of some sort. You're going to have to learn the schedule sooner or later. Life will mandate that on you. Now, understand this. I'm not trying to depress you, but at some point, you are going to have to come up with a better scheme for money management. That's just my opinion. That's just my suggestion. I've been loaning you a shitload of money. I don't even know if, and I don't take it back, but I'm feeling it. I do without to do what I do for you. Okay. I've canceled 2 trips between you and your father because of the money I've had to pour into that family over there. Those are trips, I mean, kind of, I hate to use the term end of life, but those are the closing trips of my life, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to get back to them. Okay, so don't think I'm not making, and Grandma and I are not making sacrifices, but we do this for you, and we do it for Dad. And of course, when we do it for Dad, we're also doing it for Lucas and Dylan. Uh, so understand the sacrifices that people are making to try to make your life a little bit easier. But the bottom line is you need to manage money. Now, at some point, you are going to go onto a program like Lucas. Lucas has gone onto a half and half program now. He's paying half, he's being required to pay half his rent. I don't know the complete arrangements, but that's going to come. That's going to come at some point, and probably the sooner it comes, the better, because um, you need to be able to get going in a self-sustained direction that shows that you can take care of yourself. And yes, there'll be struggles with that fiscal, fiscal financial struggles. And I don't want to belabor that and overwhelm you with the things that are being paid for you for right now, between your rent and your utilities and what I've bought you 2 cars in 4 years, and I've been paying to keep them up above board, but that's coming to a close. You're gonna have to start to be able to budget some of that stuff in there. Like I said, I'll still help you. Rather than see you go without maintenance on the car, I will definitely be here to try to help you with that and keep things like that going. I'm not sure when you're going to need an oil change, but you might want to look into that. So when we get into something like these videos, I tend to meander because I'm trying to cover so much. Because we really don't connect, we really don't talk, and there are things that need to be said, and there's things that need to be discussed, and that's that's the whole purpose of this video in terms of trying to get things rolling for you, in terms of being ready to change directions. So let's forget about cost of living, expenses, etc., and so on like that, and let's talk about what the most reasonable options that you have right now as far as moving forward after this semester. Okay? All right. Number one, you are required to contact your counselor. You are moving toward the last semester of what can be considered a senior year. So you have to make a phone conference with your counselor to discuss exactly what you need, what is required to finish, and make some decisions about that. Because you know that you've got anywhere between at least 12 and 15 credits because of the two failures over at Flagler and, the fact that you've been cutting back on your schedule from 15 to 12 to 9. It's been tough, and then you've been trying to work. It's I'm not blaming you, but you are victimized by it, and you probably could handle it a little bit better. But that's besides the point. So you have to have this meeting because I can't register you anymore. You need to find out exactly what is remaining that you have to take. I mean, I covered it with that counselor who was almost a little bit incompetent uh, going into this year. I can't do that now. I can't read any of that shit. I can't read through those catalogs. I can't read through those course listings. It's impossible. So you need to have someone direct you, and you need to get in there and take charge of scheduling your last courses, whether it takes one semester or whatever, I don't know at this point. But you have to take that over because I just can't do it. I can't do it. It's physically impossible. And you're mandated to speak to that counselor because the one counselor that I was talking to now knows that it wasn't you, and she let it slide, but that's not going to continue. You're going to have to deal directly with a counselor, and you have an email which I'll send to you or resend to you in the very near future. So yeah, the shit's starting to come down on you, things that you have to do that no one else can do for you. That's all part of the path to becoming self-sufficient. And I know you want to be self-sufficient, but you want to, understandably, you want to pick and choose the things that you will be self-sufficient about. But in any case, that's one of the priorities you got to take care of. All right. So I know this is getting a little convoluted, but I'll summarize it at some point with follow up reminders. In my opinion, if you're continuing to work this schedule, you either need to cut yourself back to one course to just keep yourself going online or keep yourself going in the books there. I, I don't know if you could want to tackle two courses because that's still heavy, and you will have to go to these classes in most cases. There aren't an awful lot of online courses left for you to take that I know of. Okay, because you need to find out from your counselor exactly what courses you have to pick from to finish if you're going for the degree. And the degree is another issue. In light of the current financial status of things there, I know you're getting the only thing you're getting from home is an occasional dollar or two. You're paying, you're getting your bills paid and your rent paid, but everything else falls on you. Okay, that's expensive, especially where you live. So essentially, you have to decide that maybe you need to take a break, or at least a simulated break, by cutting back to one course just to keep yourself on the books and keep things going. These are decisions that you have to make. I certainly would advise you anytime you want advice, but my advice to you probably would be either take a break or cut back to the one course just to keep it going. Uh, if you feel you can do two courses, fine. But remember, you would have to go to classes in most of those instances. Okay? So that's another whole bag. There's a part of me that honestly, I feel the benefits at this point of college for you has you've gotten all of the benefits. Yeah, you've gone through a lot of bullshit, and you've got through a convoluted version of college with moving around, moving houses, moving schools, all the bullshit that's happened to you, which is out of the norm, so to speak. But you're not the only one that happens to. The point is adaptation. How do you want to adapt from here? I don't say give up on the college degree, although right now I don't see within 5 at the minimum, maybe more years, a need for a general business degree, a liberal arts degree, for what you might be choosing to do uh, for your cause for your living, your actual combination of a legitimate work and pleasures, you know, pleasure lifestyle. Okay, living a normal life. So again, and I'm not trying to discourage you or anything, or I am just saying maybe it's time to take a realistic look. You don't have to slam the door on this college completely. You are, when you're done with this, you're 108 credits in out of 100, and well, you're going to need 125, okay, because of that other stupid course. But you have to think about it. You have decisions to make because registration will start. So, anyway, you just called, and now I think I got off the beaten track of my thought. That's the problem with doing these videos. But at the same time, you know, this is a lot faster than having a long, drawn out conversation live, I guess, knowing your time mandates and requirements. So, listen, in summary, I understand no one wants to be lectured to. No one likes to hear the shit, some of the shit that I have to say, as I'll call myself a parent, certainly as your guardian, your your back, the guy that watches your back. In any case, everything I say and do is, in my mind, in your best interests, and I want to help you move on to the next step of growing into a full adult. Okay, there's a lot of shit that comes with that, and how you handle it is is going to make the difference as to how easy it is and how hard it is. So, just reflecting back, you're going to have to contact a counselor. You're going to have to take care of what your requirements are. You're going to have to think about the fact that you might want to either cut back to one course or maybe even none course so that you can catch your breath and get caught up with work and living in your own apartment and starting to build a life that you can start to pay your way through things without having to constantly eat out and spend way too much money in survival things that need not be done. All right. All of these things have to come together, and it sounds dull, but yes, these are decisions you have to make. And it's tough when you're living alone. So you can always try to find a part time girlfriend. Anyway, whatever you decide to do, that's what you got to start thinking about and start determining how you're going to approach it now. I have gone on with a long video here, and I really, really hope you've had a chance to see it because I don't know how to get my thoughts and information and suggestions to you, which, whether you like it or not, you need to be able to start thinking about these things. Okay? So I'll be prepared to talk more about it in the future. You are doing a good job under some very difficult circumstances. Okay? Might have to think about cutting yourself a break, cutting back to one course or none. at this point. One might be best. All right, buddy. I love you. I got to go get some things done.